Welcome to Running Plays with Coach P. Wade. I am Coach P. Wade. And today, y'all, I have someone who is very special. I'm here out in the Atlanta community. I would say the voice of Atlanta. He's a foodie. He's a podcast host. He's more than that. And I'm going to let y'all find out about it. He's my friend who became my family, connected through social media. I love that. But today I have Quente Jackson with me, so I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm excited too. Allergies, rain, nothing was going to stop this conversation today. So thank you for inviting me, and I'm ready for an amazing conversation.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Yeah, allergies are crazy out here. Like the pollen in Atlanta right now, y'all, if you don't know, it's like the highest it's been in 35 years.
Wow.
Which is almost your whole life.
Well, I'm only... yeah, for real though. Like, oh, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy times. And I got some water for you. I figure since we're podcast content creators, we might as well try to go viral. So
let's do it.
Let's get some water.
What we need, a bowl and some ice.
We need some ice. I want to see. You know what? I haven't tried it yet. Ooh, okay. That's twisted back.
Got a looks.
Yeah, a little sparkling. Let's see what this is all about. Maybe we take a sip, we go viral. Hey. It's a little strong. Okay.
Tastes like Sprite with no flavor.
That's exactly what it tastes like. Okay.
I don't like bubbles in my water. However, Saratoga, if you'd like to sponsor anything that we're doing, give us a call.
Give us a call.
Code. We're going to put the number down there.
We're going to put the number down here, man. So, like I was saying, he's a host of a podcast, an amazing podcast, and you've interviewed some big-time individuals. But we're going to talk about it. BLKtalk.
Yes.
Talk to us about it. Like, how long have you been doing it? What's the vision for it? And, like, what are you planning on doing, like, 2025 and beyond with it?
So, years ago, I discovered that I liked sharing stories. Or I liked hearing people tell their stories. Okay. So, probably around 2013, a former business associate came to me with an idea to do a panel, a networking panel. Mm-hmm. They were being done in Atlanta, but not like on a larger scale. So that was called ATL Lunch and Learn. So throughout the 6 years that we were doing it, I was like, a lot of these people that are on these panels are amazing. And it's a shame that we can't hear their full story because there are 4 or 5 other people on the panel that they have to share their time with. So during COVID, which was the time that birthed a million ideas around the world, I was like, I want to take ATL Lunch and Learn to different cities. Okay. So I had already started planning the different cities that it was going to, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to keep changing the name for every city that I go to.
Oh yeah, because
there was ATL Lunch and Learn, there was Cleveland Lunch and Learn, NYC Lunch and Learn. Like, these are the names that I was coming up with. So I needed a name that I could take everywhere. I can just change the city, you know. Right. So BLK, that popped up in my head because, of course, it was 3 letters. And during that time, with everything that was going on, I realized that the BLK people had a story to tell that the world was now finally ready to listen to. Right. So BLK Lunch and Learn came. I did about 5 panels throughout COVID. And I'm like, all right, now it's time to create this platform to have these one-on-one conversations. So BLKtalk was birthed.
I love it.
And thank you. And thank you for being a part of one of BLKtalk's conversations. Yeah. And to date, I think I've done 73 or 74 interviews.
Wow. And that's since 2020?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep, since 2020. And it was different for me because probably for the last 15 years, I've worked with other media platforms. Mm-hmm. I've been a part of a team. But this one, it was my vision. It was something that I wanted to do. And because of that, I went and did everything myself. I'm the cameraman. I'm the producer. I'm the writer. I Tyler Perry the hell out of BLKtalk.
That's good. And the thing I wanted to say is, like, because I know, like, everybody's trying to get to the money when you're doing this stuff, right? So eventually, I mean, I don't know where you are right now, like, with the monetization, but you're in that 5-year period. And one thing I learned is they say the first 5 years aren't where you get rich. It's where you get good. So you at that, you're like at that point.
I'm right there and I feel it. And the thing is, I'm doing it because I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Out of the 70 something people that I've done, I think it may have been 3 or 4 people that have been brought to me by other people that I was unfamiliar with. Okay. Like, I believe in allowing the people that I know and I love and I see out here doing something and trying to grow in their own right. I believe in creating a platform or allowing them a place on my platform to tell their stories. If I can't, bring the people that I believe in on, then, what am I doing this for?
Right. So no, I like that. And you have a lot of connections from what I've seen. Like, you go behind the scenes on movies. You've interviewed like big time people. Karyn White. I don't know if that's the biggest. The guy. I love his name her. From Everybody Hates Chris.
Yes. Tyler James. Well, but he's the one on Abbott Elementary now.
He's Abbott Elementary now.
That was one of my first interviews actually that went viral.
Really?
And it's very rare that he does interviews. And I was blessed because I was working with a publication, the Quintessential Gentleman at the time. Okay. And we had the opportunity to interview him. I think it was the first season of Abbott Elementary. Wow. And the things that we were talking about, people loved it. And it was about protecting Black women. And that went viral. Mm-hmm. It even went viral to the point where they cut my whole face, cropped my face out and just put him up there. I was just like, well, damn, y'all couldn't leave me in there. And then every time they tagged me, they tagged us wrong. I'm like, y'all doing that on purpose. Y'all some haters, but y'all see that logo. So go ahead and follow.
Wow. So that's awesome. So what is it like interviewing people like on that like type of caliber?
It's what did Trina Braxton say? It's nervousing me. Okay. So that's how I felt a lot of times, I feel the need to always do like a little extra research because you want people to be wowed and feel like you've done your homework. But then I also want to have conversations that are relatable. I want to have conversations where the person, it doesn't necessarily feel like an interview. Right. It just feel like we're sitting here having a conversation. There just so happens to be a camera. Yeah. But I'm not going to lie. There were a couple of times where I was just like, oh my God, like I'm actually talking to Otis Williams from The Temptations. Like, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. That's our favorite movie. Did you not see that?
I have not seen
We had a
that.
conversation, Pete, because you told me that The Temptations was one of your favorite movies.
You didn't tell me you interviewed Otis.
I interviewed Otis. Okay. And one of the good things about that, like, I was able to relate because when I saw the movie, I dived deep in research. Right. And so, because of the interview, they felt it was great. It was their 60th album on their 60th anniversary. Wow. They also invited me to their concert and I got to go backstage and meet Otis Williams. Wow. I said, oh my God, like I love, celebrities. I love, the new age celebrities. That's cool. But it's a lot of people that have meant a lot to me growing up. So you said the Karyn White, Shirley Jones of the Jones Girls. These are people that made impacts in music, movies, whatever it was. And to have the opportunity, like the Whispers. My parents used to, we used to go over my aunt's house every weekend. And these are the things that we would hear. So to have the opportunity to talk to people that I grew up with, Taj Mowry, for instance, smart guy, like that was wow. Sammy, it's quite a few people. You've that
done a lot of people.
I've had.
Wow. Sammy, Taj Mowry. So you're talking all these people. So Karyn White, Otis Williams. Who was the most, like the person that you interviewed, who you was maybe your favorite interview or your most inspiring interview?
Oh, now that one's tough because I feel like I can take something away from everybody. A lot of these older artists, the fact that they are at the age that they are and they're still in the game. Right. That right there, just even having the opportunity to turn the camera on and see their face on the other side. That's inspiring in itself. Right. Because this man is 80 something years old and he's still traveling country to country to country, dancing on stage like he did 60 years ago.
Man.
So just having the opportunity to talk to these people, to see the things that they've gone through. It's not one in particular conversation that inspires me the most. The fact that they see me enough to say yes to the conversation is inspiring for me.
Yeah, but you have a gravitating like personality. So you make people feel like.
But they don't always know that through email.
Oh yeah, through email.
That's why
you contact through email.
A lot of times, like I have a template, and a lot of times I connect with these people through email.
Okay.
Sometimes, they may respond, they may not. But those who I've been fortunate enough to meet in person, I'm not gonna lie, they get the email after I've met them in person.
Okay.
I'm going to have a conversation with you. I'm going to say something where we can connect and you'll remember me. And I'm going to take a picture. Okay. And I'm going to send it to you. So therefore, when you get it, you be like, oh, yes, I remember him. Like the lady from the Jones Girl, Shirley Jones. I had been hitting her up on social media. Didn't go anywhere. End up seeing her at ViStar Amphitheater because they have like amazing concerts. I saw her, talked to her, she remembered me, took a picture, and then I emailed it a couple days later.
That's game
and that's
right
how
there.
I secured the interview.
Y'all, hopefully we're going to take a pause real quick because that is
and
game.
Sip on some of your
let's get some Saratoga. No, that's really like a good way for people who don't know where to start. Like how do I do it? And meeting them in person, taking a picture, so or saying something that's memorable.
But the thing is, everybody's not going to necessarily get the opportunity to meet them in person to make that happen first. So, question is, how do you, get in that space to do that?
Well, tell us, how do you get in that space to do that?
You can contact Quintessential Branding. Our phone number is 216-496-4902. And we'll get you there,
Because you're in some, okay, I'm gonna talk about two things I know. I know one time was just like a chance meeting Karyn White. Y'all at Velvet Taco.
Oh my God, that's how it started. That is how it started. I love Karyn White. If you guys are not older than a certain age and you guys are not familiar with the song Superwoman and all other amazing songs that she's done, she's been out since the 80s. And she was one of the first female artists that Babyface and L.A. Reid worked with.
Oh, okay.
Before the Toni Braxtons and, the other female entertainers. But I was sitting at Velvet Taco eating a good taco and I said, hold on. That's Karyn White. And so I'm not going to lie. I was bold. I waited until she, finished up what she was doing. And I caught her in the going out or whatever. And we had a conversation and she appreciated the conversation, because I always try to say something once again that they're going to appreciate and remember. So of course we took our picture, end up seeing her at another event, the Black Music Honors. Okay. Where was she performing or were they honoring her? They were honoring her at the Black Music Honors. Okay. So once they were done with the taping, I got the opportunity to go backstage, saw her, she remembered me, and I actually ended up seeing the Whispers too.
Oh my goodness.
Music group that's been out for, over the last 60 years as well. So I got the opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. That's nice. Taking pictures with the people. So fast forward, I was able to connect with Karyn's management team. Shout out to Derek. Appreciate you. And, by that time, she had known who I was. Right. Was even following me on social media at this point. So by now, we built the rapport. Let's make it happen.
I love that. You just gave me some game because I recently ran into someone, didn't take a picture, didn't do any of those things. Leon. And I love Leon. Seen him at the airport.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Right.
There you go.
And I was just like, I didn't want to be all, starstruck. I didn't want to put on too much. But what you're saying is not putting on too much. It's just having a conversation. Yep. Getting that picture, talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Because at the end of the day, they appreciate it. Even though there are some celebrities out here, thank God I have not encountered them, but they are a little rough when it comes to communicating with people who they consider fans. Okay. I'm not a fan. I am somebody that appreciates and supports the work that you do.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you're going to appreciate and respect the fact that I appreciate and respect you. And we're going to have a conversation like people. Right. And we're going to go from there.
I love that. And speaking of the music, we talking about a lot of individuals that do music. You do cue the music. Yes. And this is a good segue into that because I love that. You show me all the time different songs or artists that I'm not familiar with. Like, where does your love for music like stem from? Where does that come from?
Okay, so for all of us that are out there watching, it comes from a little thing I like to call Saturday mornings.
Okay.
You know about Saturday mornings, yeah. I'm sure. Everybody who is familiar and has grown up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even the 2000s, I would say. Yeah. Saturday mornings in most people's household was mama, daddy, whoever, grandma, they're turning on that old school music.
Yeah.
And it's time to knock out those chores. You're going to wash these dishes. You're going to clean the bathroom, refrigerator, wash clothes, whatever. And I've always found myself gravitating toward that type of music as I grew up.
Okay.
Because that's what I heard. That's what I appreciated. And as I got older, I started to notice like, okay, I'm listening to this Usher song, Throwback, on Confessions album. And I'm like, that voice in the back sounds familiar. And I'm like, I know these people, some of them are, but aren't creative enough to have that particular sound in their song. In 2000, and it sounds like the 60s.
Right.
Where's this coming from?
Right.
So I do my research and I find out it's Dionne Warwick. I am listening to the song Miss Fat Booty by Mos Def. It came out in the early 2000s. And I'm like, hold on. I'm hearing something that I am familiar, a voice I'm familiar with.
Right.
Go do my research. Find out it's a song Aretha Franklin came out with however many years ago. So I was sitting there having a conversation with my cousin about just stuff like that. And I'm like, I want to do something. I feel like people need to know about the music that they're listening to.
Right.
You know, it's not that, you know, we're saying that people aren't doing whatever they're doing, but just honoring the people whose music they have not stolen, but shared with the world in a different way.
Right. It's like it's a sample.
Yeah.
In a sense. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. You're sampling the music, but I want to know where it came from.
Right.
So it's given me the opportunity to learn more about music. And one thing I've learned, Dionne Warwick is literally the blueprint of a lot. Like she was one of her Nancy Wilson around that 60s time frame. They were first like pop stars, the first like ladies that were out there on like that international level. And their songs, Dionne Warwick, has been sampled and redone over and over again. Aretha Franklin, you know, redid I Say a Little Prayer. Luther Vandross. If I was Luther, I would have did the same thing. He remade A House Is Not a Home, Anyone Who Had a Heart. Like there are a lot of songs that Dionne Warwick came out with in the 60s that Luther redid in the 80s.
Did people know that?
I mean, if you were around, I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
But there was a song that Luther wrote for, I don't know why it's slipping my mind right now. Was it So Amazing? I think it was So Amazing.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, that he wrote for Dionne Warwick. And he loved it so much that he redid it.
Oh, wow.
Anita Baker, you know, no one in the world, like everybody loves that song by Anita Baker. Well, Dionne Warwick did it first. So there's a lot that she put out there that a lot of people, you know, brought back and brought life to. But me, I'm going to want to listen to the original.
Okay.
And that's one of the people that I want to interview. She has been on my radar for years. And every time she's come to Atlanta, I've had the opportunity to meet her. I was always gone.
Oh my goodness.
But Lord, if you're listening.
That would be amazing if you can get her. See, I'm not familiar with it in that sense, so I'm going to have to go do some research. And a lot of time, I need to get better at this. When I hear music come back that people are sampling, maybe I don't like the way it's getting done in today's music.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all should have left that alone. Do you ever feel like that?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. What was I listening to the other day? Fantasy by Earth, Wind and Fire. Now, I, once again, like to do my little research and see like who sampled it. And I think there was a group called Black Box or something like that, featuring Martha Wash of the Weather Girl. It's Raining Man.
Okay.
They redid the song. Although Martha's vocals were good, the remake that they did, it sound real. I'm like, y'all should have left this alone.
Because fantasy is classic.
It is.
Like,
and nobody can recreate, because they gave an experience. Earth, Wind, and Fire was an experience. And if you're going to redo their songs, you need to have an experience prepared for the people that's going to listen to it. The only experience on that song was Martha Wash's powerful vocals. Other than that other shit, y'all could have left that alone.
They should have left it alone. Man, I love that. And I love like how just your love, like how you cleaning on Saturday mornings brought you to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're Cue the Music. If y'all haven't seen it, check it out. Cue the Music.
And yes, and what I'm doing now, I've transitioned into conversation, like making it not an interview, but an opportunity for friends of mine to come on and we have conversations about music, because a lot of people I know have knowledge and they have views and opinions about music, and it's like, come on, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I seen the one recently. Y'all were talking about the girl from Escape and
in Vogue,
and Roberta Flack. Y'all going in on a couple things.
Yeah,
but no, I like that kind of conversation, because then y'all kept bouncing off of each other and it kept going.
Yes,
so I like that.
So when you're ready for your conversation on Cue the Music, let me know. All
right, I love it. And then the last thing that you're doing, I don't know if it's the last, but you also are a foodie.
Yes, Quinn Hunger Strikes.
Quinn Hunger Strikes. I love it.
Everything is a play off of my name.
Oh,
Quinte, quintessential, Quinn Hunger Strikes. Cue the music, except for BLKtalk, you know.
Yeah. But no, it works. So Quinn Hunger Strikes. You going out here to all these Atlanta restaurants. I feel like you about to be the next, what's his name, Keith Lee?
Yeah, so the thing is, I go out and I try it and I, put it out there, but I don't necessarily review it how he does.
Okay.
Him and, not consciously, I can't think of Mr. Chime Time.
Okay.
The other guy, like they review.
Okay.
I go out and I create an experience. Because, all restaurants, whether they have food that appeals to you or not, they have something that everybody will love. So my goal is to go out and share the experience. Because now in Atlanta, because there are 5 million restaurants, and every time an apartment building pops up, there are 2 more restaurants that are popping up.
Yeah, that's
so true. You can imagine how many restaurants are coming now. But every restaurant has to have some sort of gimmick, a niche, something that's going to draw the people in.
Right.
So it's my goal to take that, create the experience on social media so you can see it, you're interested in it, and I'm pretty sure you'll go find something at that restaurant that you like. Okay,
that makes sense. So out of all the things that you're doing right now, what's the one that you're like most passionate about, or the one that you would prefer to take off the most? Like you got.
So what am I most passionate about? Waking up in the morning and having the opportunity to choose which one I feel like doing that day.
I love that.
So, I mean, it just came from me. Thank you, Lord. Okay. But no, real talk. Like, I enjoy having conversations. So BLKtalk.
Right.
As long as my friends or people that I know have something going on, I'm always going to want to have a conversation.
Okay.
There's always food out here and I got to eat. So I'm always going to want to do Quinn Hunger Strikes.
Right.
There's always music that I'm listening to. And thank God for like Apple Music. They create a playlist for me every week based off the music that I've listened to.
I love that.
Some of it is new.
Yeah.
But some of it is stuff that I've heard and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to want to do Cue the Music. So honestly, I love it all. It's not one thing that I love more than the other because I feel like food, that's life. You need it to survive.
Right.
Music, when you're going through different things, music speaks to those different moods and situations. So technically, like you need that to survive as well. And people who are out here building brands, they need people that believe in them. They need people who have a platform, whether it's 50 people that are listening or 5 million people that are listening. They need those people. They need that space create it where people can hear them. So I love it all.
You love it all. Okay. How do you stay like in this? I mean, you've been doing, the podcast for 5 years. You've been doing this stuff for a while. How do you stay consistent and being able to like be so creative with it at all times?
Because once again, I love it. So when it does not feel like a task or work, then you get up and you look forward to it in a joyous way.
Okay.
And then the thing is, if I wake up and I'm not feeling it, then, I have the right to say, hey, not today. Right. But a lot of that stuff puts me in a great mood because I schedule things out in advance and I love having something to look forward to.
Right.
So knowing that in 5 days I'm coming on and I'm having a conversation with people, like I look forward to that. Unfortunately, I had to cancel that first time because it was at the beginning of allergies and I was feeling like hell.
No, I was too that day, so I get it. Man, one thing I love about you is like how you love community. You love helping people. You love bringing all your people together. And it's like you want to see, like how you say, you want the people you believe in to come on and talk and whatnot, like how you brought me on. And that just makes me think about Brothers on Business. Talk to us about that and why you created that, because I think it's amazing. I haven't seen a lot about it recently, so I want to know where it's at, but Brothers on Business.
So let me tell you, when I get an idea, I always have to write it down because I may not touch it at the moment, but eventually I feel like I'll come back to it. That's how I'm at the place now where I have all these different brands. Everything. A friend of mine said one day, everything I love, I sell. She had candles. She has a magazine now. She has wine. She had like all kinds of stuff she loved to do. She was putting out there. Smart. And that's where I feel like I am. Creating spaces for other people to see themselves in the light that they need to see it. So Brothers on Business started as Brothers in Business.
Okay.
And it was a way for a few friends and I to get together and have conversations about entrepreneurship.
Right.
A lot of us don't come from backgrounds where we have parents or grandparents or, whatever that were entrepreneurs. I did, but I didn't necessarily get to have the conversations with them about entrepreneurship. So when I was doing my thing, there were things that I had questions about, but this friend had an answer. And then this friend had a question, but that friend had the answer.
Right.
So I said, all right, let's get together and we all have questions. Let's create a space where us as Black men can come together and not feel judged. Because a lot of times if you have a question or you don't have the answer,
right,
people have been made to feel some kind of way by not having the answer because you're supposed to know it. You're supposed to figure it out. You could be, the most elite person in your field, but there are still questions that you have. It's natural because that's evolution. So we created a space. I love to cook. So I brought everybody together over a little food. You put your questions in a bowl and we're going around and we're asking the questions and everybody who has the knowledge is getting the chance to answer it.
Right.
So I realized like it was something that we would pop up and do maybe once or twice a year. But 5 years later, it's like, all right, is this all we're going to do?
Right.
So I was having a conversation with another fellow brothers in business. And he was like, so Q, what is the end goal? And I was like, we going to keep having these brunches.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, we're not. So it made me think and turning it into an organization that not only the people that are in my circle can benefit from, but the people that are 5 states away, the little 18-year-old boy who has an amazing idea, but he may need, a little bit of assistance. He may need a little bit of financial support.
Right.
The overall goal is to create a network of support, a network of resource, a network of brotherhood, and a network that is safe, where you don't feel judged.
Yeah.
And, we know that being an entrepreneur is a 24/7 gig.
It is.
And it takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
You know, I worked for myself with Quintessential Branding, another one of my brands, helping other people build their brands.
Yeah.
So at one point, I had 7 clients. It's just me. I don't have a team.
Yeah.
I'm sending pitches and I'm getting everybody into these events all by myself at the same time. And it took a mental toll on me.
I'm sure.
You know, so having resources for people to have the opportunity to talk to a therapist or just release if you need to, coming up with different exercises and things like that. Like that's the overall goal. So I had a brunch. I said it was going to be the final brunch in my home because now we're going to scale and we're going to grow.
Okay.
But you know, just continue to create that space on a larger scale where other people can benefit from what we have created, and we can get those answers and those resources and just feel okay knowing that even though we don't know everything, we got people out there that's going to look out for us.
Yeah, you got people. And I think that's good, especially like in the Black community coming up, young Black boys. A lot of times they don't get that. So then they become men who are afraid to ask those questions. So like you said, it being a safe space, it being a support system, I think it's smart. And I think it allows like people to like, you know, be great in their strength, not feel small in their weakness, you know, but be able to grab it from somebody else. And it goes to one of my favorite African proverbs. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Come on,
and
now.
I think what you're doing with Brothers on Business, it literally like is that, you know, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I really do. And another thing I want to talk about with Brothers on Business, because we're talking about the entrepreneur space. And I know in today's climate, it's a lot going on. And being an entrepreneur for some people, it may be the best space to be. We see what the federal government's doing.
Yes.
Even in corporations where they're cutting jobs, they're trimming the fat, all these different things. Being an entrepreneur, having your own business or having multiple streams is the smart thing to do. But what's your thoughts on like just everything that's going on today's climate? Like how important do you think having a community like Brothers on Business is today?
So with everything that is going on in the current presidency in the world, every day we wake up and there is something new that is going on that is affecting us, but affecting other people around us. I think because of the uncertainty, you kind of, we're latching on to what's familiar, what's comfortable, and what's certain.
Yep.
And the only thing that's certain is what we bring to the table. Like they said, when it comes to hunting, you only eat what you kill. So if we get out here and we do what we need to do, then most of the time the reward that we are seeking can come, but we got to put in the work to do it. And having people around you, a community of people around you to motivate you, to support you, to encourage you. You know, I think that's very important because, you know, we need that to keep ourselves going, whether it's conversation, whether I'm encouraging you with a word, whether I may not like, you know, skimpy underwear, but if you selling drawers, you know, okay, let me go ahead and buy a pair. You know, I may not be a person that that reads or a person that whatever or listens to the particular type of music that, you know, you put out there, but as a friend, you know, as somebody that believes in you and supports you, let me share, let me post, let me put a couple dollars up to, you know, support what it is you're doing, because it may get to a point where the government's not gonna, you know, be able to provide those resources that we need to
that's true.
Get to that point.
And it's free to support your friends and just people out here trying to do something. And one thing, like what you said about hunting, if we allow them to feed us, we give them permission to starve us.
Oh,
and
come on now.
But that's what it is right now. And I think that's the mindset we have to have as being, if you're working in corporate America, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever. So that's why I believe entrepreneurship is so important right now.
That quote, you heard it here first. and I feel like that needs to go in your next book.
Okay.
Because that is deep. Create something off of that. That is amazing.
Well, I heard that quote somewhere.
Damn, it ain't yours.
Nah, it's not mine. I can't take credit for it.
Well, you still can use it.
Yeah, I mean, I may have put a little different spin on it.
I like your spin. How about that?
Yeah, but I mean, when I heard, it may have been something similar to that, but I love that. If you allow them to feed you, you give them permission to starve you.
Yep.
And that's what I think, what you're doing, what I do, like teaching and helping people is so important.
Yeah.
It's so important right now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We, as a community, we all have a responsibility to each other. A lot of people are in that gatekeeping mindset where when they get information, when they get resources, they want to keep it to themselves. But the only way that we grow, I grow, you grow, is for us to share it with each other when it comes to events, when it comes to contacts and things like that. Some of my friends and I have had the exact same people on our platforms, interview platforms.
Right.
But each conversation is different.
Right.
Because the person that is asking the questions is different from the next person, and the way that it's being delivered based off of the interaction with the person you're talking to is different. So, we got to do better out here. There's room for us all out here. It is,
and that's the thing people have to understand. It's not a competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do similar things. We're not in competition, right? Yep. So it's a community, and everybody can eat. And I think that's a mindset that our community, Black people, I don't know. I mean, I know where it stems from, but we have to move past that and move forward.
Oh, yeah. So
I was about to say, I don't know. I know.
Yeah, we know. We know
exactly where it stems from. Speaking of sharing, well, let's talk about you.
And we did that enough for today.
We're going to switch. We're talking about a lot of business. We're talking about all the things you're doing. You sound like a busy individual. But sharing you with someone else, that's what I want to transition into that.
Let's just say this. The reason why I do all the things that I do is because there is currently nobody to share any of that with. Okay. So
let's get into it. How is dating in Atlanta?
Dating in Atlanta is pissy. Okay. It is not as easy as one would think. Okay. A lot of the people that I have encountered, you deal with a lot of superficiality on things. And I ain't thin and trim. I ain't walking around with a 6-pack. I like to eat. I might have a little dad bod going on. A lot of people cute, a lot of people don't necessarily like that.
Then they're not for you.
Well, it's quite a few of them out there. Okay. And I don't know. I think I'm different than a lot of people. I give super old school vibes. Like my friends, they either call me Nana or like I have a friend who calls me Unc. Because I'm like old school. Grandma's house, you go over grandma's house, you're going to eat. Okay. You don't feel comfortable enough to go to sleep. You're going to feel like there's peace in this house. There's comfort when you go. When it comes to Unc or it comes to Pops or whatever it is they choose to call, I'm going to help you with your car, or, we're going to be outside in the yard. There are things that I've learned from my mother, my father, my grandmother, my grandfather that I've taken into my adulthood. And I like old people. I like old Black people. I love them and the things that they brought to our community. I appreciate it. And in carrying on legacy, like with Cue the Music, there's some things that they do and say and certain actions that I'm going to keep going with. Okay. That's why I want to have a kid, so my kid can be old like me.
So you saying you want somebody old?
I said my kid. I don't.
Do you want somebody older? Do you think because of how you are, do you think the person that can handle who you are needs to be older?
They don't need to be older, because what I've learned, when you're out here in the world and you're doing things, the universe, God, whoever it is you believe in, is going to put you in spaces where you meet people that'll be a part of your tribe. Now, the people that I had the conversation with on Cue the Music, the other Q, Jay, Carlos, we are all 30-something-year-old men. but we all come from a place where we had present grandparents in our lives, and parents, and the things that we learned from them. Like, we're kind of regurgitating them now. So we sit around and we're like a bunch of old people, talking about, why are we talking about the feud that Aretha Franklin and Dionne Warwick had back in the 60s? We weren't even thought of back then. So why are we talking about this? But this is the type of stuff that interests me. And to have the opportunity to be blessed with people that understand that and appreciate that and can throw a fact at you that you didn't even know.
Yeah, that's cool.
I appreciate stuff like that. Like, it was probably a couple years ago when I found out Otis Williams and Patti LaBelle were engaged for years.
What?
They were engaged for like 2 years. I never knew it either. And I'm like, I know everything on, people. That's what I felt. And, to find that out, I'm like, oh yeah, you told me that. You're a good person. I'm going to keep you in my life.
Okay. That's what's up. So, single, not looking to settle down.
I am single. I would love to be in a deeply committed partnership, because I have a lot going on. And the people that I've dated in the past, they've always been very supportive of what I was doing.
Right.
And, that felt good to have that support and have people that was proud of you. But one thing I want in my next and hopefully lasting relationship, I want somebody that I can be proud of as well. I want somebody that I can support.
Yeah.
Just like I've had people that do that for me, I want to be in a relationship where we both got something going on. And, even if it's not in the space of entertainment or lifestyle or, food blogging or whatever, if you, have a job 9 to 5 and you running the hell out of your department, I want to be proud of you for that. When you get that award for being, the top whatever at your job, excuse me, oh Lord, Saratoga. I want to be there supporting you at this award ceremony, amongst all of your coworkers.
Yeah, I love that.
I want somebody that is understanding, somebody that's goal oriented, somebody who has a personality. Because when I'm ready to go and I'm ready to laugh and I'm ready to crack a joke, I want a person that understands that. I want to be in a room of hundreds of people and I see something and I'm looking at it, but I know that the person that I'm connected with sees that same thing.
Right.
We don't have to say anything. We look at each other. We know exactly what each other is thinking because we've just seen the same thing and we're thinking about it in the same way.
Right.
Like, that's the type of stuff I want. Like, connection. Like, real connection.
Do you think it's realistic?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I watched it today.
Okay.
I watched stuff like that today. When we were preparing for this conversation, you sat there and said, all right, she's going to do this, this, and this before she walks out that door. And I'll be damned if we didn't sit here and this, and this happened right before. Like, you knowing your partner and your partner knowing you paying attention and y'all being connected in that way. I know it's possible. I've had it before.
All right.
Even my friendships are like that as well. So to be in a partnership, in a relationship, absolutely.
It's possible. I want to touch on friendships, but yeah, I love the what you're saying about what you're looking for. And I say stay single until you're appreciated.
Come on now.
You and your friends, there's a new show and it kind of reminds me of, because I mean, they're all single, right?
Some.
Y'all are like, have you seen that new mid-century modern? It's like the Golden
I've
Girls.
seen it. It keeps popping up on my on my thing. I haven't watched it yet.
The title throws you off because like mid-century modern. What is this? But if y'all don't know, and I'm gonna tell you, it's like Golden Girls, but with gay men. You know what?
And I've wanted to watch it because who's Nathan Lane?
Yeah.
Who was in The Birdcage and he was in some other things. Was it Matt Brown or something like that? Yeah. I remember him from American Horror Story.
Yeah, and I think the Modern Family. Was it Modern Family that Nathan Lane is in? I think he played Pepper. Pepper.
But then the black guy, I looked at his face. I said, oh my God, I remember him. If you guys ever watched Holiday Heart, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was Holiday's friend, Blue.
Okay.
And this was 20 years ago. So, of course, he's grown up and he's older now. But I'm like, I would love to check that show out. So I might go watch it today.
You gotta watch it. It's the funniest show out.
Mid-century modern.
Yeah, the name threw me off. I was like, do I want to watch it? But it's literally Golden Girls.
So it's literally golden. Mid-century. Come on now.
Yeah. Who came? Ryan Murphy. He's the.
Okay, there you go. I just said Matt Brommer. Brommer, whatever. Yeah. American Horror Story. Yeah. So Ryan Murphy. It makes sense.
Yes, he's involved. So it's good. But you and your friends, y'all kind of being the old school.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love it.
Oh man, I love it. So you're doing so many great things. I'm excited just to watch your journey. I'm excited to be a part of your journey and to be right here. What's a piece of advice that you can leave everyone with, like doing all of these things, being an entrepreneur, eventually not necessarily looking or seeking a partner, but wanting to find love? Like, what's one piece of advice or just a piece of game you can give people that you've learned on your journey?
One of the toughest lessons that I've learned was appreciation of self, appreciation for the things that I like, I love, I care about, because people will make you feel bad about your decisions or your choices or the things that you like.
That's true.
And a lot of us, we get to the place where we're seeking validation from other people. So the person who we are, we customize it to the person they are. And we're not being authentic and genuine with ourselves about who we are because we're trying to appeal to other people.
Right.
So that's one of the other things. And to date, I'm still getting to a place where I am fully appreciating. I appreciate me more than I have in the past, but it's a constant journey. Acknowledgement and accountability. That was another tough lesson that I had to learn, but it's a lesson that I'm appreciative of.
Okay.
Because, like, say for instance, you and I have gotten into an argument and you come tell me, hey, Q, you did this, and because of that, it made me feel this kind of way. The person that I was, I'm listening to you talk to me, but I'm not hearing what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I'm listening to you tell me how bad of a person I am. And because of that, my guard is up. I'm getting defensive. I'm ready for you to stop talking so that I can tell you why what you just said is wrong.
Right.
Because that is not how I meant it. That is not accountability or acknowledgement.
Not at all.
So accountability and acknowledgement is, okay, I hear what you're saying. And I'm thinking in my head, although I did not mean it to be like that, I now hear that you said something that I did affected you in this way.
Right.
So let me acknowledge that I made you feel some type of way. Let me acknowledge that you are sitting in a space where an action of mine did this to you. How can I let you know that that was not my intention?
Right.
How can I grow from this to not make that same mistake the next time and be a better person?
That's a different level of emotional intelligence.
And it took a long time to get to. It took one of my closest friends now. We've been friends for over 15 years, I believe. Having a conversation. And I'm just like, I didn't do that. I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
But over time, like, we got into it tough where we didn't talk for a couple months. And I'm just like, damn, was I really that bad?
Yeah.
Because the things people say, I'm like, am I a bad person?
Right.
But I'm listening, and the way that they're saying it, I took it completely wrong.
Yeah.
And when I reanalyzed it, we came back, we talked about it. That was one of the things that I told them I appreciate. Yeah. You taught me accountability.
Yeah, they helped you grow. And those are people that you need in your life.
Yep.
People that are around you that will hold you accountable.
Yes.
And it's good that you can take a step back, reflect.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
To be accountable, to acknowledge.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And I've seen people who are in their 50s and 60s who don't take responsibility for the things that they do.
Right.
And it is so unfortunate because when you think of emotional maturity, age means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all.
So getting to that place now, I feel like I'm in a good space.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm going to be a great 40, 50, 60-year-old if I can continue on this path.
No, I agree. And I think when you're saying with age, when people can't take that ownership, they're really hurting people that they love. Like, but not by me not being able to own that I hurt you.
Yeah.
So there's parents that can't own that maybe they hurt their child.
Yes.
And for them not owning it, now we have adult people that are just out here hurt, and they're continuing to hurt people. It's a cycle.
It is, and I'm thankful for the parents that I have.
Yeah.
They can be a lot sometimes, but I'm thankful that we're able to have conversations like that.
Yeah.
And I've actually, I was a little nervous because, they say you respect your mother and your father. And I didn't come in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
But, I just had to say one day, hey, mom, hey, dad, this happened, and, I don't appreciate blah, 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 blah. And the fact that they are receptive people.
I love that for you.
Hell, you retired now. You ain't got nothing to do but to be receptive. But
retired and receptive.
Right. But I appreciate, it started with my parents. And if my parents can be those great type of people, then anybody else out here in the world you ain't got a chance.
That's true.
Okay.
And it's a choice. And there's tools. There's therapy. I think a lot of what you're saying comes from probably being in therapy.
Oh, well, if you guys didn't know, I've gone to therapy for the last 6 years, and
But I didn't know that.
You felt it. See, you connect because you've probably gone to therapy too.
I believe people that have this level of emotional intelligence probably have gone to therapy.
Absolutely, proudly.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a thing that it took me a minute to get to, but that accountability, that acknowledgement, those were things that I was having issues with. And I'm like, let me have a conversation with somebody who does not know me, who can provide me the tips, the tricks, to get to a better place. And therapy actually did help me grow. And I've encouraged friends to do the very same thing. A lot of people talk about the money that therapy costs. There are resources out here.
Yeah,
if y'all go to work every day, contact your HR department, because a lot of times what you'll learn is there are things called employee assistance programs. And the employee assistance programs will pay for those.
Oh, that's true.
My job, I think it's 6 free sessions per topic. So if you want to talk about your mama, that's a topic. If you want to talk about your daddy, that's a topic.
That's a topic.
If you want to talk about your money, that's a topic. So there's no excuse to not, seek the resources that you need, whether it's therapy or whatever, in order for you to grow.
I believe, like when people say the money thing, that's probably the most irritating response.
Excuse.
It's an excuse. And I'm like, you can buy Cowboy Carter tickets, but you don't have money for therapy. To me, that's a mental illness right there.
Because truth be told, as much as those Cowboy Carter tickets cost, y'all could have got at least a good 6-month session in. And which one's going to help you more?
Right. It's an investment. It's the best investment. I hope one day our, like, America, the country, we get to where it's like required, maybe in some type of way, like when you're in high school or whatever, before you go out into adulthood. You got to go through this.
Yeah.
At least get started in it.
See, and the thing is, I agree with that, but I'm going to say this. I would say it wouldn't necessarily be the government's job. I feel like there are a lot of things at home that we need to pay attention to and we need to implement into our lives. Like the conversations that, I'm able to have now with my parents. Sometimes I wish these were conversations I was able to have when I was 14, 15, 16. Yeah. But, you're a child, you stay in a child's place type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm a child, but I'm a person. Yeah. And I'm a person that has emotions. I'm a person that has questions. So if I don't feel like there's a space safe enough for me to ask those or say those things, then I'm going to be an asshole of an adult who is out here terrorizing the world because I wasn't able to get, what I needed from home. So if we start at home, then we could be much better people.
That's a word right there. So I love that. So we're going to end on that. Appreciation, acknowledgement, Accountability. If y'all ain't take anything away from Q today, I mean, he done taught us how to be a business person, a businessman, businesswoman, entrepreneur. He done taught us the game of how to get, big time individuals to be on your podcast. You done gave us a lot today.
And I appreciate you for using your platform for great things. Today, I am that great thing. But no, like to create a space. When I looked at the email, like she did the research, and I looked at all, I'm like, damn, I got to answer all these questions. But it just feels so natural.
Yeah.
And you've created a space where I feel comfortable enough to share these things. And I'm sitting here like hearing myself talk. I'm saying things that I was like, damn, I didn't even realize that I knew this about me. Like it's
I pulled
crazy.
That out of you. That's what I did.
Thank you. Good job. Cheers.
Man, therapy, Saratoga, And y'all, we're going to wrap it up here. And I always forget on every episode, and I even forgot today, but if you aren't subscribed to me, please like, please share, please subscribe. I'm going to get better at saying that at the top of the episode, but I appreciate you, Q, for sitting down with me. I know you're not feeling the best, but you're looking good.
Thank you. And so are you.
Hey, I appreciate
them allergies got us, but we're here for you.
We're here. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all next week. We out.